Analysis suggests the fully vaccinated are more than 90% protected against hospitalization from the variant.
If you are vaccinated, you are protected.
But a fight is underway against vaccinations. A federal judge has just dismissed a lawsuit at Houston Methodist Hospital, siding with the medical center that's requiring all 25,000 employees be vaccinated by June 21st or face termination.
We are prepared to get terminated at this point.
Plaintiff and nurse Jennifer Bridges says the small group will appeal, but as more hospitals require vaccinations as part of employment, more protests and litigation are coming.
You can't just go into work and say, I don't want to do these things. You're not going to be working there too long. Pretty soon the employer is going to recognize vaccination as part of a safe workplace.
In addition to hospitals, select airlines and universities are requiring some employees to get vaccinated. And now, with an estimated 30% of Americans still not back at the office, the legal groundwork is now set for more businesses to follow suit.
Our thanks to NBC's Miguel Almaguer for that report.
Yeah, you know, we're talking about reopening, and it is so frustrating that some, you know, if you're a hospital worker.
Right. Seems like that would be a basic requirement to be vaccinated.
Just not hard.
But they're pushing against it.
I know.
And you know, I was watching some of them be interviewed on television saying, well, if everybody else is vaccinated, why should I be vaccinated?
Oh,
it's
my
like,
gosh. What are you thinking?
No. It just doesn't make sense. And Michael, my friends and family members, other people who are vaccine hesitant, crazy thing is they're acting like this is the first time we have ever had a vaccination in the history of America. And they'll go, well, wait a second, I don't understand. If other people are getting vaccinated, why do I need to be vaccinated? I don't understand. If children aren't usually getting this, why do we want it? And I say, hey, wait a second. Your children, all of them, have had to be vaccinated for polio, for measles, for mumps, for rubella. What was their chance of getting polio? A lot less than getting COVID. And yet, that's how we've been doing it for decades. You want to vaccinate everyone, get herd immunity up, and wipe the disease out. And which, again, we all know this. And the people who are feigning ignorance knows this.
Well,
they have children.
Some are being
misled. And yet...
That's...
Well,
without saying too much.
You know what?
No,
I'm sorry. No. We have been doing this. We have been doing this now for 5 years. It's on them. All right? They can Google it. They're not able to blame anybody else for who they vote for sympathizing with fascists, and for putting other Americans' lives at risk. They're just, I'm sorry.
Look, at the end of the day, here, I said
no
it,
excuses.
I'm 100% with you. I've said it before, and I'll reiterate it again. You can't help stupid. And if you're a hospital worker, and you're in the throes of this thing, and you're coming out with the comment, well, if they're getting vaccinated, why should I? That's stupid.
That is stupid.
And so, you know,
again, goes against
everything.
Half a century of what we've all known about vaccinations. Right. We all vaccinate. By the way, Willie, they can actually look at their children's vaccination forms. Anybody that's had a kid hasn't been able to send that kid to school unless they vaccinated them for several things that the kids are very, very unlikely to get. And yet, we hear this, but they're not like. I mean, come on.
Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear people say, I want to learn more, what you still hear, what more do you need to know? We've been reporting on this for months and months and months. There are medical papers, there is FDA and CDC guidance. There's everything you need to know about it is right there. And I would just add, we started this conversation talking about this Delta variant that they're worried about in the UK, that they've seen in India, and that there are some cases of here in the United States. That's all the more reason to get the vaccine. Medical experts will tell you the way to beat the Delta variant is to get the vaccine, because these vaccines have been proven highly, highly effective against the variants as well. So if you don't want it to come back here, if you don't want to see more cases and more shutdowns and your life changed again, the answer is to get the vaccine.
You know, and here's the thing, let me be very clear. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. If you don't want to get the vaccine, if you want to risk getting sick, if you want to risk dying, I'm kind of a libertarian.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Then I am going
Hold
to
on.
speak.
If you want to smoke 5, 6, 7 packs of cigarettes a day,
Do that.
if you got them, smoke them. I'm good with that. I'm sort of a libertarian. Those big gulps, drink them all you want. I'm not Bloombergian, and you heard Willie going, that goes down
gonna be
smooth, and
drinking
it does.
the gallon
I want
gulp.
you to do what you want to do. But if I'm a small business owner, right? If I invested in a company and I put up a store and every 2 weeks I have to worry about making payroll, every 2 weeks I have to worry about taxes, every 2 weeks I have to worry about regulations and OSHA and everything else, I should be able to let people come into my store that I want to come into my store. If they don't have vaccines,
Okay.
I should say I want to keep my customers safe. And yet there are actually governors, Mika, who are telling companies, who are forcing companies, who are using centralized power of the state to order them to do things that are unsafe in their own businesses. That's just really dangerous.
Okay, but all I'm saying is, you know, there is one thing when people are choosing to not look at the facts, but there's also, I think, a great section of America that has kind of bought into this cult of Trump. There are lawmakers in Washington, your Republican Party, that are refusing to stand up for the truth and for this country and for the Constitution. And so they're feeding into the, I'll say, disinformation, I would not call it stupidity, about the virus or about the January 6th attack. And as Liz Cheney put it very eloquently, there's a large section of the country that has been misled. And this is what the administration is up against. And it doesn't help to call everybody stupid. Having said that, there are some people who are choosing to be. I understand your frustration.
That's my point. That's exactly my point. There are people who are choosing to be stupid. To Willie's point, in the face of all the facts, we have been into this thing how long now? I mean, it's not like we're just discovering this thing called COVID-19.
That kills.
That kills people.
Yeah.
It's not like these hospital workers and other professionals who are in healthcare.
Right.
I mean, this is not your grandmama, trying to put together a family recipe for a cure. All right, so they understand exactly what's going on here. So yeah, I'm sorry, it's stupid, and you're in that role, and you're misleading people and taking them down a path as a healthcare professional they shouldn't go. To your point about politicians, they're playing the game because they got these folks screaming in the corner at them that they're afraid of, instead of asserting leadership and informing and educating and sharing that information to elevate the level of discourse and understanding. They play down to stupid. So that's my only point.
Agree.